Another Week 7 previews. Here we go, brother. Another edition of GNT Sports Talk. I'm June Gallardi.
I'm Bobby Thompson. Week 7. Wow, we're already almost halfway through the NFL season. Where did it all go?
It's already flying by, and honestly, it's going quick, man. But let's get to it. Eagles-Cowboys. I think this is a great game. It's
Battle of the NFC East.
And this is for the division. Who do you got winning this? Cowboys home. They're 2.5-point favorites. 49 over/under.
All right, so with this game, both teams I know
are struggling.
Yep,
sure.
both teams are struggling. They're both 3-3, I believe.
Yeah, they're tied. This is for the division.
So both teams should be so much better than their record shows. I think the Cowboys showed a huge weakness last week against the Jets.
For sure.
We got to see if Amari Cooper's going to play. That's up in the air. We'll know more tomorrow and over the weekend.
That's right. That's huge. That's a different football team when he's not playing.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you something right now. Eagles are going to win that game if Cooper's not playing.
You're not getting an argument out of me. I think they're going to win regardless. I think the Eagles are a much better team. I know their defense is extremely weakened because of the secondary.
Right.
Of course. It's always the story with them. However, also another thing is they're going to be missing some pass rushers, brother, because Nigel Bradham is out.
Mm-hmm.
And, Timmy Jernigan, he's out.
What about the Cowboys line? How's that looking?
Tyron Smith, I don't think he's playing. That's a big loss, and you saw it You saw it against the Jets. What happened? He was under duress almost every time he went back to pass.
Yeah, Jets got in there, and I think the Eagles are a better team also.
I agree.
If Cooper plays, I would feel a little more gun-shy to pick the Eagles, but I'm going to assume he's not playing for this purpose, and I'm going to say the Eagles get this dub 27-20.
I'm going to go with the Eagles winning 28-17. I think that Zeke is going to. I'll tell you this. I think Zeke is going to come back. He's going to have over 100 yards rushing, get into the passing game a lot more than he did last week. I'm just going to tell you this right now. I think the Eagles are going to fly high. I expect Alshon Jeffrey to have a huge day.
Time for him to get right.
Yep. I think
Wentz will do his thing.
I'm going to give you my prediction.
He's been playing great.
The two-headed monster at running back with Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard. I think that both of them are going to raise hell.
Okay.
So it's pick your poison with that. I think Carson Wentz has a huge bounce back game where he just lights it up. He's not no turning the ball over 300 yards, has high completion percentage.
I can see it.
All right, so Eagles winning this game.
Yeah, Wentz has 12 touchdowns and 3 picks. He's been playing at a high level for sure this season. I think that continues. Obviously, we don't have to say we like him much better than Dak Prescott. It's very clear and apparent. So Dak has 11 touchdowns and 6 picks. But the one thing for the Cowboys is Elliott. Where has he been? I'm not seeing that same Elliott right now. I mean, he's only averaging 4.3 yards a carry, under 500 yards. I mean, even against the Jets, he didn't really go like crazy by any means. I mean, the Cowboys can't get him going. This team's in trouble.
Absolutely, and I think it leads to the injuries on the offensive line. Listen, Zeke his whole career has been running behind the best offensive line in football.
Right.
So now that guys are injured,
it's not the same.
So it's not the same. So now he has to do more than he's ever had to do, and it's really not working. So they're going to have to find a way to be creative and find holes for him to run through, because right now he should be one of the league leaders in rushing.
Mm-hmm. I think they got to give him the ball more too, honestly.
I agree.
But he should be. You're right. Pollard's actually averaging more yards per carry. Who would have thought that?
That's something. That's
4.9 yards per carry, 181 yards, 37 carries. But yeah, we'll go with this game. We both got the Birds. Another big game for the division potentially. Texans and Colts, and the Colts are home. They're 3-2. Texans 4-2. They're a 1-point favorite. Over under 47.
Wow,
it's that close. It's a coin flip basically.
This is a great game to watch on Sunday, and I'm going to tell you why.
We'll be watching.
Oh yeah. So here's the thing. What I like. Deshaun Watson has just completely become one of the best quarterbacks in football. He's a dual threat. He could do anything you ask him to do, make any throw he could. He's very accurate.
He's going crazy on him.
He's an MVP candidate, in my opinion.
He's in there.
So here's how I see this going down. I think, Deshaun Watson's going to keep doing his thing against this Colts defense. I expect I expect Nuke Hopkins, because they don't have anyone to cover Nuke Hopkins, to run wild. I expect, who's also going to have a big game, Jules? Will Fuller. Get him back in there.
Yeah.
So, and also, I'm going to tell you this. Carlos Hyde has been a godsend for this offense. He's been so good. I think the defense of the Texans could be a bit better. I think this week they're going to really cause some trouble for Jacoby Brissett because, well, I think we both could agree that the best offensive line in football now belongs to the Indianapolis Colts. Their offensive line is good. Jacoby Brissett, I'm going to tell you this. He has been playing well as a starter. He's done everything he could do. He has this team in great position. This is a great game to watch. I think T.Y. Hilton is going to cause some problems for the secondary of the Texans, even though on Twitter all day they said they're going to throw some different looks at him. I mean, you can throw as many different looks as you want, but the guy always seems to get open.
Yeah, for sure.
So, look, with this game, I expect it to be high scoring. I'm going to tell you that right now. High scoring, and I expect the Texans to get this dub. I'm a big believer in Houston. I think they're for real. I think as long as you keep Deshaun Watson off his ass all the time and you let him play his game and he's not taking 10, 15, 20 hits a game, you're going to be just fine. So with this, I'm going with the Texans winning this game. I'm going to go with 20. I'm going to give you an unorthodox score, 25-20.
It is very unorthodox, and I'm actually going to go the other way. I think the Colts defend their home turf, and I think Marlon Mack's going to continue to grind. He's been playing great all year, 470 yards, 4.7 per carry. I also think Brissett, he's been doing very well, low-key, 10 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's like an enhanced game manager, Brissett, and he does a good job of it. And the Colts defense plays very well. They've been playing great. You saw what they did against the Chiefs.
Yep.
I think they could do it, and I think they'll defend their home turf. And I just think, and T.Y. Hilton, like you said, it doesn't matter what looks they throw at him. The guy always gets open.
Oh, no.
Expect a big day from T.Y. Hilton. I think you're going to get over 100 yards from T.Y., a touchdown. You're going to get over 100, maybe 2 touchdowns from Marlon Mack. And then Brissett's going to do his thing, maybe 1 interception, but I think he'll run for around 50 yards maybe. I could see him really playing well, so I'm going Colts.
Okay, we differ on this one. I mean, I think it's one of the best games on the 1 o'clock slate. So
there's another good one, too.
Let's see. What are we rolling on to?
Lions and Vikings is an interesting one. Vikings, 1.5-point favorite.
And the Lions coming off a game where there was a lot of controversy. I'm going to tell you this. I think a lot of people, including myself, I think we overlooked the Lions just how actually decent they really are.
Yeah, they've been playing pretty well.
That defense, Jules, I'm going to tell you this. It's basically a blueprint of how the Patriots play defense because of Matt Patricia. They can play ball and stick with anybody, huh? And here's another thing. Also, the Packers last week, they were so banged up on the offensive side. I think if they had Devontae Adams and all that, I think it would have been a different story.
That's true.
But I'm not going to take away what they're doing. The Lions, I really think they're playing hard. They're 2-1. I think that Trey Flowers, shout out to Trey Flowers, former Patriot, for those of you who don't know. I think he got screwed on both calls. If you watch, he grabbed it right here by the collar, not the face. How is the collar your face? And then on the second call, it was on the shoulder pad. And then if you see that video, you see Lindsley, I think the center for the Packers. He's literally has his hand in someone's face like this. So I think it was bullshit. I mean, I'm not going to take away anything from the Packers. They did everything they could do, but the Lions did get robbed that game. But in regards to this game, the Vikings, it's a divisional game. You finally saw Kirk Cousins get Diggs involved, and what'd he do? 7 catches, 167, and 3 touchdowns. Now you got that scary receiving core of Thielen scoring touchdowns. Now you got Diggs getting back in the game. You got Dalvin Cook still doing what he does. It's going to be up there. The Lions have their hands full this week. They definitely do.
So who you got?
So who do I got? So I'm going with Minnesota. I'm going to go with Minnesota. It's going to be a big Diggs day again. I agree.
Yeah, I was going to try to go switch it up, but I got to stay with Minnesota. I don't want to pick myself too deep a hole. Last week you destroyed me, so if the Lions win, it'll be a little tight, but whatever. I mean, I think it's going to be a close ball game. I could see something in the neighborhood of a 23-20 situation. I think the Vikings are going to have to grind. The Lions' defense is very underrated, like you said. I just think too much Cooks, too much Thielen, too much Diggs will ultimately do the Lions in. And Stafford's been playing decently.
Yes,
well.
he has.
And Golladay and Jones have been showing up. Kerryon Johnson, we've been talking every week. I want to see more, and this is not the time for him to get right, unfortunately. The Vikings have a very good defense, so I think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I agree.
And the Vikings will get it done.
I agree. What's your score?
I said 23-20.
23-20, okay.
Yeah, pretty good.
I'm going to go with 24. I'm going to go 24-18.
All right, so next up we got Rams, Falcons, and these teams are both spiraling. Rams 3-3, Falcons 1-5, 3-point favorite. Over/under 54.5. I think it's going to be a high scoring affair. I don't trust the Falcons at all right now. I'm not even sure why I'm going to do this, but I'm going to pick them to win the game.
Damn. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you this. Well, the Rams get to play with their new toy on defense, don't they? Jalen Ramsey's going to make his debut. You know, he's been on the injury report with that back injury. So I think we all could agree. We could talk about it now. That back injury was just bullshit. He was never going to play a game in Jacksonville ever again.
That's what that was. Yeah.
So with this, you know, Jalen Ramsey definitely is going to be leaned on a lot, especially because they don't have Aqib Talib on the opposite side.
Right.
So I think he's going to make an impact. I really do. I think who's he going to? Wade Phillips is going to have him do what he does best.
Julio.
Play man-to-man on Julio Jones.
That's going to be something to watch.
That's
something I really want
I
to
expect
see.
those two to be jawing back and forth.
That's going to be a show.
What's Jalen Ramsey's game plan? He likes to get. I'm not going to compare him to Richard Sherman. I think Richard Sherman is somebody who his technique is amazing, athletic. He's tall. He gets in your face. He jams you up, and he gets in your head. Jalen Ramsey does the same thing. But I think they're two different players. But anyway, I think that you're going to see a lot of him. I think that Julio, I don't care who's covering him, he makes plays that guys just don't make.
I think he'll have a good solid day. He's going to want to show out.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I think the Rams' defense is decent. I think getting Jalen Ramsey is going to help them a lot more. But I think the Falcons need a win. I think they're going to come out on fire. I just don't think it's enough. I think the Rams are going to win. I'm going to go with 31-30. I really do.
That makes sense.
And it's going to be a Zerloin, a game-winning field goal.
I'm going to go. I'll give you an unorthodox score. Actually, this happened, so I won't do that. But I'm going to say 32-31. There we go. Okay. So Falcons are going to win a nail biter. I think Matt Bryant's going to win the game. I think you're going to see some weird stuff happen in this game. You have two desperate football teams with two very good offenses. I think you're going to see a ton of points. And I think Freeman's going to be critical. He's got to get going a little bit. Ryan can't turn it over. You know what? This is actually a good thing to look at. Whoever wins the turnover battle, I think, wins this football game. Because
Agreed.
Jared Goff and Matt Ryan have both been turning the ball over a lot this year. Goff has been worse than Ryan, though, by far. 7 picks. They both have 7 picks, but the rating's 100-80, so that's a big difference, obviously. 15 touchdowns to 7 picks compared to just 7-7. So we'll have to see what happens out there. Both teams need this game, but I think the Falcons will rise up one last time, hopefully. I mean, they got to. They're 1-5, so
we'll see what happens.
It's time to play.
Both teams have been struggling massively, so both need a win, so it's going to be interesting.
Oh, is Todd Gurley going to play?
So with that, I've seen he's been limited in practice. I think, however, due to how well Malcolm Brown played and how Darrell Henderson showed what he could do, I think that's going to be literally up to game time to see how he plays.
Okay.
But I'm going to lean towards that he plays.
I feel like that he has to, no?
You're damn right he has to play. They need him to win games.
Exactly.
Yeah, so... And here's the thing, injury report real quick for the Falcons. They're without their number one corner. Desmond Trufant's out for the game.
Damn, the Falcons' defense just keeps getting banged up. That defense is a train wreck. They give up everything. I don't know how they're going to do it now. We are back. And we have moved on to Giants and Cardinals. And this is an interesting matchup. Cardinals got a surprise win against the Falcons last week. They're 2-3-1. Giants are 2-4. Both teams really need this game to stay in it. And the Giants are one game out of the division. That's it, brother. They're just one game out.
Yeah, Danny Dimes has done everything he can to help this team succeed, and he's doing just about everything that he can. And, you know, they did play well against New England last week.
They did all they could.
Yep, they were so outmanned. They didn't have Shepard. They didn't have Saquon and they didn't have Evan Ingram. Well, I can tell you this right now. For this game, they're going to have 2 of the 3 backs. Saquon will play. Evan Ingram will play.
Thank God.
However,
Thank God.
However, Sterling Shepard, who has his 4th concussion this year, is going to be out for a while. So fantasy owners, including myself, you might want to consider dropping him.
Speaking of fantasy, you got me perfect. Thank the Lord that Evan Ingram is playing, so I don't have to use Hayden Hurst as my tight end. Yeah. That is a great thing, because I already lost Patty Mahomes this week, so I'm going to need all the help I can get. Patty only gave me 7 points before he fell down, unfortunately. But Ingram playing against the Cardinals, that's a juicy matchup, and I like that. So that should help get me off the ground, hopefully. But in terms of this football game, I think it's a Giants day. I think they're going to take over at home. You know how I'm big into that west to east travel. I don't like it for the West Coast teams. The stats show that the West Coast teams are not very successful traveling east. I think the Giants will confuse Murray a little bit. He's going to get his. He will. I think the Cardinals will score, but I can see the Giants making a crucial play when it matters. This has the writing of a 27-24 to me. I think it'll be close.
I'm going to tell you this. You know what? I think Danny Dimes gets his boys back. I think they're going to score a lot of points.
Well, Saquon is huge.
Yeah, having Saquon back is definitely huge. I'm not. Let's be honest here. The Cardinals' defense isn't the scariest. I mean, they got some playmakers: Pat Peterson, Chandler Jones, Suggs.
Pat's still out, brother. I'm pretty sure. Is he back?
No, he's back.
No, I thought he was suspended 6 games. Oh, it 6 just took place, so I guess this will be his first game. Oops,
so, however, I'm going to say this. I'm going to give you something crazy. Ready for this? I think Kyler Murray's going to go into MetLife and he's going to get that dub.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you why.
Let's see it.
I think Larry Fitzgerald's going to have a huge day.
All right.
You saw Janoris Jenkins getting destroyed by Julian Edelman and couldn't stay with them.
He struggled this year.
He's having a really, really bad season. The Giants' defense, the pass rush is starting to show. I'll give you that.
It is a little bit.
However, I think that Kyler Murray causes an issue for them as the dual threat. I really do. I think the Giants defense has their handful, and that defense is absolutely atrocious. I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with 20. I'm going to go with 28-27. I think Kyler Murray is going to lead them down, and expect a huge, huge day from David Johnson.
That I also need as well, so I really hope you're right. I want to see fun football. I want to see points being scored. I want to see Ingram. I want to see Johnson. I want to see them do what they got to do. Let's get it going. I think you'll definitely see scoring. I would shoot that over 50.5. I think both defenses, like you said, aren't really that great, so I think it bodes well for the offenses. Saquon's back. Ingram's back. Cardinals have a full strength on offense, so yeah, we're pretty similar. We're not too far off with this one.
No.
So let's see. Let's do Ravens Seahawks. I love that game.
I think that this game is definitely the game of the week, in my opinion.
It's 425. Let me set the tone. Ravens 4-2, 48.5 over under. Seahawks 5-1, 3-point favorite. Go ahead.
All right. Here's how I'm going to see this go. The Seattle Seahawks are playing at a phenomenal level right now. They're 5-1. Russell Wilson, who in my opinion is my MVP candidate right now, he's playing his ass off, his heart out. He doesn't have that big name receiver, but he just plays with whoever's in there and just keeps it going. Tyler Lockett's showing to be a huge threat. All he does is make plays, not only in the kicking game, but he also makes it in the as a receiver. He's playing his heart out. I think that DK Metcalf is really playing well.
Mm-hmm. He's been showing up.
Will Dissly, as you guys know, he's out for the year towards Achilles.
We always talk about Dissly, and now he went down again.
But they got their boy Luke Wilson back, so
we'll see what he can do.
I think the Seahawks defense has actually been underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah, they seem to have their moments. They give up a lot, but
with Jadeveon Clowney and all that stuff, I keep forgetting he's there.
It seems like they play. You want to know what the Seahawks do? They play, and it's really different from what they used to do. And what I've noticed, basically, they play bend but don't break defense.
Yes,
that's exactly how I see it right now.
I know exactly about that because that's how New England used to be.
Yeah, you guys aren't like that anymore, sadly. But now this team has transitioned. We've talked about it at length. This is an offensive football team.
Yeah, Let me tell you, you know what? You were absolutely right, Jules. Back in the day with the Legion of Boom, they were a defensive team, and they had a great run game. Now it is an offensive team. They score a lot of points, so they try to make you play catch-up, and the defense will do just enough to win.
Exactly, and it's going to be a fun one. Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, we got the dual threats, Mark Ingram, and you got Andrews, Carson, Penny if he gets in there, Brown, Hurst, Snead, all these guys.
Many studs.
And maybe not Hurst, but or Snead, but yeah, it's going to be a fun matchup. I would say it's tough to say it's going to be over under because the Ravens have a good defense. The Seahawks play that bend but don't break.
And
I could really see the Ravens pulling this upset.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get that. I'm gonna try to get a pick here because I'm pretty sure you're going Seahawks. And Lamar Jackson gonna have to do his thing. I think he will. He's been playing at a great level. 11 touchdowns, 5 picks. He's also ran for almost 500 yards. He's gonna have to put the team on his back. Ingram's gonna have to be solid. I think he'll play a great game. And if they can run the ball and keep Seattle and Wilson on the sideline, they can get the dub. But before I do say that, I will say the Ravens get this win, 26-23. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to have a lot of close games this week. Also, Wilson is also indeed the MVP right now, especially since Mahomes just went down. I think it's Wilson and McCaffrey's put himself in the conversation. Also, Watson's having a very good year, even Wentz a little bit. So I think it's going to be a fun race to see what happens.
Yeah, very, very good points. I like everything you said. You know, the Ravens come in. Lamar Jackson's playing his heart out. He's like that. Excuse me. He's a different kind of dual threat. He's so fast, and you know he's got a great arm. Last year. Remember how everyone mocked his arm? I think he shut everybody up on that one. So with this game, I think that Seahawks bend but don't break defense is going to be bent so much that they can't bend no more. They have their hands full with Jackson. I think if Hollywood Brown plays there, they got their hands full too. I think Mark Ingram has been the perfect back for them. He fits everything they do. I could see him getting in the end zone a few times, over 100 yards. It's going to be tough for the Seahawks defense to stop him. However, you're absolutely right. I'm going with Seattle on this one.
Yeah, I knew
it. I expect Tyler Lockett to really make that secondary struggle, especially since they just got a new toy. We didn't talk about that real quick. They got Marcus Peters from the Rams.
That's right. Good call.
So with that, and Harbaugh wants him to play, and I quote, play a lot. So with that, Marcus Peters is definitely in a secondary that got a lot better because Marlon Humphrey and him, 2 young guys, that's a young core, good. And they also have Earl Thomas. That's another thing we didn't talk about. Earl Thomas gets to go up against his old team.
So here's the thing.
Here's the thing. I expect Earl Thomas to be a presence. I don't be surprised if he goes and starts drawing to the Seahawks sideline. I see it, especially since Pete Carroll ran his mouth and said, we love beating our guys. We love running his mouth and shit like that. We all remember when Earl Thomas went down and he flipped off the Seahawks sideline. A lot of tension with them still that I don't think got resolved. I think the Seahawks get this win. I'm going to go with 30-28. I think Russell Wilson's going to light up the scoreboard. Tyler Lockett's going to get in the end zone. I think he's going to get 7 or 8 catches. I expect DK Metcalf to have at least 2 TDs. And Chris Carson is going to run all over the place, in my opinion. Okay. 30-28 Seahawks.
You know what? I'm going to say I already made my prediction, but you know what? Since you just added that fire, I'm going to add some fire as well. Earl Thomas gets a pick 6 off Russell Wilson.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you this. I could see him getting a pick, and in Earl Thomas fashion, definitely a pick 6. And I also expect Earl Thomas to knock somebody the fuck out.
Oh yeah, I'm really.
Somebody's getting knocked out.